Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to edit these files or how to modular create them in the Lychee slicer. So what we're going to do first is we're going to drag the items that we want. So I'm going to choose the body, I'm going to choose two arms and a head that we will be able to edit in the Lychee slicer. Meanwhile, let me explain it. This is not the best software to do this. I'm only doing this tutorial because it is the cheapest way that I know to do this kind of editing, just to mount up a modular character so we can then 3D print it without having to print it all the parts and then glue them together. So basically what I'm doing here, I'm just dragging all these parts in. Just choosing a head here that we can use for this character. This is parts from my Chronomancer apprentice, Big Ben. Excuse me. As one of the supporters has, Brian Meadows has suggested a name. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to position these. I'm going to rotate the body so it's standing up on the plate. Position the head also. The problem with this software is you can't really change the pivot point of the items that I know of. So if anybody knows of a cheap or free software where you can actually choose the pivot point, change the pivot point so you can rotate the character's parts without having to move them. In this case I have to move and then I have to rotate and then readjust. So, but like I said, I'm going to be saying this a lot. This is the free and easiest way that I know how to do this for free without going into complicated software like ZBrush. So what another thing we have to do here is we have to fill the holes. There are these holes that we need to, because they're made for gluing the items at the end. What we're going to do here so there's no holes when we actually save the final STL file, we're going to scale it up and position that so we don't have any holes that will give you any problem printing, and making sure that the parts are actually connected when you put in the arm there. So we do that on that side. We're going to duplicate this, auto arrange. We're going to keep the arrangement so it just doesn't change place. We're just going to drag it to the other side. That's fine. Another one, because we need to do that, the same thing for the head. That looks good. Then we're going to place the head, and I'm just going to rotate this a bit, position it better. Don't worry about the space between the head. You won't, it'll be so small you won't even see that. Rotate, like I said, if we could change the pivot point, we can't. So this is the low-tech solution to get this done. Yeah. So we rotate and then we position again until we get the position that we want. That's fine, I think. That's great. Now we have to do is repeat this process for the hands. So I've got a hand that was a left hand, and now we need to make a right hand out of it. So I'm just going to go to the mirror option here and just flip it, then move it and just position it. Again, here you have to choose what position you want to have the hand in before you go around and putting it in place. So I'm just going to rotate this into the position that I think is the one that I want, which I think is that one. Now I'm going to just position that and just adjust that. Like I said, this isn't the best solution. It's the free solution, and it's with the software that most of you already have for your 3D printing. So push that back in. I don't want it to be showing so much. That looks fine. Now we do the other arm. Basically the same thing that we've been doing with the head and the first arm. Just going to rotate, position that. By the way, I really had a lot of fun making this character. I don't know, I had initially I was thinking about how I was going to do an apprentice, and I thought, oh, I don't want to do a typical apprentice. So I went for something a little bit different, and that's something I want to do more and more lately. I'm going to see if I can do less conventional characters. Maybe so here Zimbis can just maybe stand out a bit. As most of you know, I have dropped the whole magnets. I think a lot of you are also not into magnets anymore, or just tired of having that. So now I'm just thinking about these modular characters, which you can create more and more and more characters with the same parts. So what we're going to do now is just export our file or our body in STL. I've already got one here. Just going to replace it. Save, replace, just replace that. And also save the Lychee file just in case you want to rearrange the parts later. Lychee or Lychee? I think it's a Lychee slicer. Okay. So here we're going to we're going to make a new scene, and we're going to import that STL body that we just made. And this part is basically just showing you more of how I actually do the supporting of the miniatures. Sometimes I do it a lot faster than I do here, but here I'm going to go through some extra things or extra configurations. So first thing I choose is try to choose a position that does less damage to the character. So I try not to put any supports on the face or on the chest. I really try to keep that safe. So every character has their own special position. So I can't really say this applies to every character, but I also like to apply supports on the bottom of the shoes. So it doesn't matter. I can put nice thick ones there just to keep the character in place. So the damage on the bottom of the shoes doesn't bother me. So, and here all I have to worry about is the sword and the staff. Those are the only two thin parts or parts that I need to worry about, like that one. So I'm going to actually prioritize one and maybe make the other one not need support, well, because it's not an island. So I'm just going to tilt it here a bit, and I'm going to apply so like the sword gets, or the dagger gets off the hook. So that's what I'm going to do. That seems fine. Just going to go ahead here. So usually what I do is I apply, I usually search for selected islands on the fasts, so I can get basically the main islands that need most of the support. I'm going to start off by putting these medium ones. As you can see the settings, the pictures, and on the video. So these not only are taking care of the main islands, but they're also being used as stability supports. So the miniature doesn't move around. But as you can see, there's still islands that it didn't create, but they're probably there. But later on, we're going to do another search for more islands. But for now, I'm just worried about creating these stability supports. Yeah, I put them in places that I know that if there's a little bit of damage, it's not, if it needs it like a little bit of dent, it's not too bad. And also these slices, sometimes they really make up these islands that don't really exist. There's these bugs in the system, there might be problems with the files, but I don't usually worry about them too much. I got those two at the top of the dagger. They don't seem like they're real islands. I'm not going to worry about it. These can be just little points or one point that doesn't even have mass that I'm just going to add here. I'm going to add the little lighter supports, and these are just to give some continuity and give some more stability, and some islands that I can actually see that are going to be there. What I suggest in this case is actually doing a search of islands. Sometimes I just drag them like that just to create some supports. But I am going to search for other islands, because obviously there are more islands here that haven't been found, like those. Just give some extra stability to the sword when it's getting printed, and that's looking good. I mean, that's probably got more supports than I usually. Here I am. I'm gonna just search for more islands in the normal settings, and as I expected, there would be many islands. And if you keep on looking, but these pretty much define, unless there's some kind of, in the first print tests, if I do something and it really comes out bad, then I end up refining. So I don't worry about too much on the first run. Although I am always very happy when I do my first run of support and they all come out and the mini comes out perfect. So basically that's what I'm doing here. I'm just refining the supports, and then in some places I'll just use these mini supports a lot. Usually they don't have this configuration. I lower this down to about 18 or 20, and the tip diameter right over there, so it becomes like a cone, so it breaks at the top and not at the cone. So I already have my own configuration, so that's what I'm going to be doing now. If you need to see how these supports are made, use plenty of YouTube videos on the Lychee slicer site or YouTube to show you how to make these, but I really find that these supports are really elegant. They really made the whole supporting the minis almost an art. If you press space, you're allowed to see the, press space again, and here I'm pressing space just to readjust these. And you guys let me know if you need me to do like another tutorial more specific about supports, or if you have any questions, you can just go to the Discord channel and just comment. There's actually a channel specifically for this on my Heroes and Beasts, or you can just message me or even just comments if you have any questions. Another thing I really need to do here is bracing. I need to brace some of these very long ones, because not that they're going to be that long, because it always looks bigger here than an actual print, but I'm going to have to brace these. Also, I don't like this raft. That's the raft that I like to use, but I have to apply some braces to these, especially the long ones. But I don't like bracing everything together. I prefer, because it gets really chunky sometimes, so I just prefer choosing 2 at a time and bracing 2 at a time. So I just choose the lowest setting, and I just that's that. So basically what I'm doing here, I'm just selectively choosing some supports and adding extra support if I feel like that one by itself might not be accurate, needed some extra help. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's really what this is about. So as you can see, I mounted the character up, put all the parts in the position that I wanted. I exported the STL. I then re-imported STL into a new document, and I pre-supported this. That's the process if you want to use a free software like Lychee to do the modular characters that you want. This is pretty much the way. I can't say this is the best way, but like I said, it is a free way. Thank you very much for checking this out. Let me know what you think in the comments.